Hi, this is real estate coach Craig Proctor, and today what we're going to talk about is how to not lose the listing. Obviously, listings are a huge premium right now. If you get a listing, you can pretty much take it to the bank. So we don't want to lose these listings because they're going to represent $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 or more for you, depending on what part of the country that you're in. So I want to share with you today some techniques to beat out any other agents. Quite often we're in competition with other realtors. So I'm going to show you some simple things that you can do that will blow the seller away, and it will totally set you apart from any other real estate agents that they're going to be interviewing. And that's a great thing to ask even before you head out to the listing presentation. Are they going to be speaking with other real estate agents? And if they are, I always try to position myself as last in, but I get that guarantee from them that they promise that they're not going to list with one of the other realtors before I have an opportunity to meet with them. So I'm always trying to position myself in last. Here's how I do that. I would say, are you going to be speaking with other realtors? And if they say yes, I would say, well, I would like to be the last realtor you meet with so I can show you how much extra I do to get your home sold. If they agree to this, if they won't agree to it, I want to be first, right? If I can't be last, I'm definitely going to try to be first because they're not going to commit to waiting. And that's the only thing that can go wrong with this getting in last strategy is if they don't commit to waiting, they list with one of the other agents. So once I ask the question, are you going to be speaking to other agents? Then I say, I'd like to show you how much extra I do to get your home sold. If I can, be the last one that meets with you, I will go over everything I do and all the things that I do that are different and better. And if they agree to that, then I say, after I've set the time to be last in, I say, I'm going to do a fair amount of work in preparation for our appointment on Saturday. All I ask in return is your 100% commitment that you're not going to list with one of the other agents before you and I have a chance to meet on Saturday. So again, if I get that commitment, I'm pretty much good to go. I'm not saying it's foolproof, but it's a very difficult phone call for the seller to make because they basically have to call you and tell you, hey, I lied and listed with one of the other agents. So that's one strategy I use. But what I learned to do was much better marketing to make sure that I wasn't going to be in competition. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about that. That's when you know your marketing is like really awesome, is when the seller is so pre-sold on you, they don't even feel the need to interview other agents, right? Like it's basically just come and list my house, and you're really positioned as an authority. So that means they're going to listen, more likely to listen to your recommended list price, and they're not going to fight you on commission. So that's really where I want to take agents that work with me, is I want to take them to this point where they create such massive omnipresence that the sellers are actually calling them and saying, come and get me. Okay, now let's say that you are in competition though. I want to give you some easy things that you can do during the presentation that will blow the other realtors out of the water. Now, the cool thing about everything that I'm going to recommend that you do here is, if you really think about this, these are all things that you're doing anyway, but you're not positioning it the way I position it. So what we're going to be talking about are little written guarantees, like verbal, but also in writing. You're going to give these little guarantees to the seller during the presentation. And the beauty of this is you're basically guaranteeing stuff that you would do anyway. So how many of you would feel comfortable guaranteeing something that you know you're going to do anyway, right? Like I guarantee tonight that the sun is going to go down and it's going to get dark, and I guarantee tomorrow the sun's going to come up and it's going to be daylight, right? I know with certainty that's going to happen. Well, let me ask you a few things about how you conduct your business with the seller. How many of you, when you list a home, you would stay in contact with the seller? How many of you would do that? Let me know in comments if that's something that you would do. Do you call them, once a week, or do you call them twice a week? And certainly if the seller was to call you, you would return their call. So since I was doing that anyway, like standard practice, what I did is I created something on my listing presentation called a communication guarantee. And I made this little certificate, and in writing it says basically, should you decide to list your home with me, you get the Craig Proctor communication guarantee. And how this works, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is I will guarantee to contact you every single week and give you an update on all the showings and what the feedback was and what we're doing to market and advertise your home. And anytime that you call me, I guarantee to return your phone call within 24 hours. How many of you are going to do that anyway? But here's the key. The other agents, if they were interviewing me and a couple of other agents, if the other two realtors that were interviewing were like flies on the wall, they would say, like, not fair. They'd be jumping up and down saying, but we do that too. And they probably do. But you see the difference, how I position it? The other realtors also do these things, but because I created the Craig Proctor communication guarantee and I give it to them in writing, and now there's a consequence as well. Okay, so not only am I saying I guarantee to contact you every week and give you feedback, but if that doesn't happen, then there's a penalty. And you could decide what your penalty is going to be, but it has to have teeth. For this to work, it can't be like a loose language guarantee, most realtors are running around saying, oh, I guarantee to sell your home fast. I guarantee to sell it for more money. Oops, there's my notes. So this guarantee has to have teeth. So you might say, I guarantee to contact you every single week, or I'll deduct $200 off my commission or $500 off my commission any week that doesn't happen. Now, of course, because it's actually going to happen every single week, we don't have to worry about reducing the fee. Actually, I find that making these guarantees that I'm going to talk to you about today, they actually help you have an opportunity to get your full commission, right? If they try to cut the fee, I'm going to say, no, give me an opportunity. If I follow through on all the guarantees I'm going to give me an opportunity to earn my fee. And if I don't do what I promise, then there'll be built-in reductions. So that is the communication guarantee. The next guarantee that I give the seller is what I call my honest price guarantee, okay, or my honest list price guarantee. And especially in today's market, we have other realtors going in and highballing the seller, giving them, we don't even know what the right price of a property is now, right? Because it's so crazy out there. But you run up into situations where you lose the listing because another real estate agent lied, right? They exaggerated or lied about the price. They bought the listing. So how I combat that is I give the seller what I call my honest price guarantee. And again, this is in writing, and it basically works like this. If the seller lists their home at my recommended asking price, I guarantee to get them an offer in X amount of days, depending on your market. Again, what would be your time frame? I promise to get you an offer in 2 days or 7 days or 30 days. You're going to design this around you. You're basically, with my strategies, here's the deal. You're going to make the biggest promise you can both make and keep. Remember what I said earlier? Tonight's going to get dark. Tomorrow the sun's going to come up. It's a guarantee I feel pretty comfortable with, right? So maybe your guarantee to the seller is, if you list your home at my recommended asking price, I guarantee to get you an offer within 7 days or within 2 days. Or I guarantee to get you an offer for 100% of the market value. Or what's going to be the penalty? The penalty could be, or I'll reduce my commission by $500 or $1,000, depending on your price range. Obviously, if they own a multi-million-dollar home, a $500 reduction is not going to be meaningful. But you guys understand the strategy here, right? Because what happens if the seller actually listed their home at your recommended asking price? It would sell for a full price. And it would sell in most marketplaces in a couple days. So you're never reducing your commission. This is just positioning, right? You're putting this guarantee in writing. The other realtors you're interviewing are not doing anything like this. And it's an amazing way to set yourself apart. Let me give you another one. When I'm speaking to the seller, I say this. I say, look, as far as showings go, there's two ways we can do this. We could do this like most realtors and just like let anybody in your house. Now, I can't control the other agents who show your property, but I can control the buyers that we show your property to. Would you like us just to bring in any buyer who wants to see your property, or would you prefer with our buyers, the buyers that contact us about your property, would you prefer that we actually meet with those buyers and financially qualify the buyers and give them all the information on your home before we drag them through your house? What would you prefer? Well, they always say, well, obviously, with your buyers, Craig, you can't control the other agent's buyers, but with your buyers, we would much prefer if you can meet with them and qualify them and make sure that they were financially qualified and they had all the information on the property before that you brought them through the home. Okay, so this is really good because when buyers call off of that property, I say, well, the seller wants us to meet with all buyers, make sure they're qualified and have all the information on the property before we bring them through. And if the buyer fights me on this, I simply say to them, look, I'm representing the seller. If I was representing you, I'm sure you'd want me to respect your wishes. So it's a great way for me to get the buyers, to get to meet with the buyers, qualify them, sign them up to a buyer agency agreement before I run out and start showing them properties. So this is the guarantee I'm able to now make the seller. I call it my qualified buyer's guarantee. And again, this is in writing. We show you how to do this. I guarantee that we will not bring a buyer through your property that we haven't met with and financially qualified and given them all the information on your property. If you find that Craig Proctor personally brings a buyer through your home that's not qualified, financially qualified to buy your home, I'll deduct $1,000 off my commission. Okay, remember, the other realtors aren't doing any of this. So these are all amazing ways to set yourself apart from the other agents. So this particular qualified buyer guarantee, sure, it benefits the seller, but it actually benefits me now because I can tell buyers, hey, if you want to look at this property through me, you got to meet with us. We've got to make sure you're financially qualified and you've got all the information on the property because the seller said so, and I work for the seller. Okay, here's another problem we're up against quite often. You're up against 2 or 3 other agents, and you walk in there and you tell them the truth, right? You say, well, I've been in real estate for whatever number of years, and here's my track record. And you know that sometimes you're up against other agents that exaggerate their track record. How many of you watching this right now have lost a listing to an agent that you had no business losing a listing to? Let me know in comments if that's ever happened to you, where you're like blown away, right? When you find out that the seller didn't list with you, they listed with so-and-so, and you've got a superior track record, you've got more experience, you're like a way better agent than the person that they ended up listing with. Well, first of all, that's a tough pill to swallow, but I got to the point where I thought, that's on me. That's on me. Obviously, there was something lacking in my presentation if the seller was able to make that decision and list with an inferior realtor. But because we're up against real estate agents that sometimes lie about their credentials or exaggerate, here's what I came up with. These are my notes here that fell down, my little green tape, but let's say this is a brochure that I would bring into the listing. This is called my fax brochure, okay? Facts about Craig Proctor. So you would just create a little brochure that's facts about you. And all the possible good things that we can say about ourselves while telling the truth are in this fax brochure. And so here's how this works. You might be thinking, well, I don't have anything extraordinary, but if you worked with me, I could show you how to really make this good, right? So When I give this fax brochure to the seller, so you're the seller and I hand this to you, now I talk to them about my honest fax guarantee. So in the Craig Proctor fax brochure, right, I have told you the truth about Craig Proctor. Now, if you find that there's anything that's not true, okay, exaggerated, if there's anything false at all in the Craig Proctor fax brochure, I'll donate $5,000 to the charity of your choice. Okay, now it doesn't have to be $5,000 and your consequence can be different, but I just thought that was really nice, right? Now, they can't ever find anything false in this, so I don't have to worry about giving away $5,000. Although when you make a lot of money, you're gonna give a lot of money away. Just like I have, and like a lot of my members have given away hundreds of thousands of dollars because they can. So that is another guarantee. If you want to write that one down, that's called the Honest Fax Guarantee, where you're going to have your honest fax brochure written up about all the great stuff that you do. Another thing you can do right at the very end of the presentation, so I'm just giving you kind of a sample of different techniques that I used. Honestly, I got about 90% of the listings that I would go out on. I would lose 1 in 10, and that would drive me crazy, by the way. That's how I got so good at the listing presentation. How many of you are like me, where if you lose a listing, you're kind of analyzing it like, what did I do differently? And sometimes, you know, on the drive home, I can think about things that I would have done differently, right? It might have been steps that I skipped. Sometimes if I got overconfident that I really thought, you know, I didn't have to go through the whole listing presentation because they're going to list with me, that would be a mistake. And sometimes I just omitted things that were really important. But because I was doing so many listing presentations over and over and over again, you tend to get really good at it, right? Because if I make a mistake at the first one today, I've got another one, so I can really perfect it. But every once in a while, even with this awesome presentation that I had, about 1 in 10 times, the seller at the end of the presentation would balk and not sign up. And by the way, this is a writer downer. The natural conclusion to an awesome presentation is at the end of it, the seller should say, where do I sign? Make sense? If right now you're faced with all kinds of objections, if you've got to be an arm twister, if you've got to fight to get that listing signed at the end, it simply tells us your presentation isn't quite strong enough. So that's what I help realtors do. Okay, I've been coaching real estate agents now for 25 years. Some of you know my story. I was the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world after 3 years of being licensed, and I kept being one of the top RE/MAX agents in the world for the next 20 years. And that's how I got into coaching and training agents, because real estate agents want to know from people that have actually made millions of dollars selling real estate how to do it. Most of the coaches and trainers today some of them have never sold real estate, and many of them, frankly, just weren't even successful when they did sell real estate. I want to invite all of you, if you like this, by the way, if you like this, smash the like button, okay? Give me a thumbs up, like this, like my page, and remember to turn on notifications, because if you turn on the video notifications, every time I go live, you'll get notified, you'll get to see them. So if you like this, let me know in comments what you thought was great about this, what you learned here today. And also remember, you can share this in 2 different ways with other realtors. So if you know another real estate agent that would benefit from what we've talked about so far today, you can either share it or just type their name into the comments and share it that way. I also want to invite all of you to a special training I've got coming up in a few weeks. I only do this special training a few times a year because frankly, it's a lot of work. It's 3 entire days with me. So you've been watching this for a few minutes, and if you like this, how would you like to get 3 days with me? The fee is next to nothing, okay? So I would give this thing away, but I've made it like I've got this early bird discount. The only reason, honestly, I charge a fee is so you show up, because things that are free, people perceive have no value. But I also am giving almost $6,000 of marketing bonuses away, including my listing presentation. Some of the things that we talked about here today. I'm going to be giving out my listing presentation, my buyer presentation. I'm going to be giving out my direct mail pieces. I call these my $1 million mailers. Why? Because I made over $1 million in commissions with these mailers and postcards. I'm going to give those to you as well. I'm going to give you what I call my best of the best marketing campaign collection. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been coaching agents now since 1995, and I've coached over 30,000 agents, including some of the top real estate agents in the world, and that's not an exaggeration. Let me give you an example. One of my clients, her name is Sarah Reynolds. If you're with Keller Williams, you probably know her because she's the #1 KW agent in the world. Last year, during COVID, Sarah made $14 million in GCI. She's been with me for 10 years. When Sarah started with me, she was making $300,000. So she's gone from $300,000 to $14 million a year in gross commission income. Not volume, in commission income. That was in 2020. I've got another one of my clients, Rudy Kasuma. He was the top agent in the state of California for RE/MAX. He has just left RE/MAX to start his own independent company. I think he does $8 to $10 million in GCI. But don't think, hey, to get involved with Craig's training, I got to make $1 million a month. Most of the people that come to me are, I would say, in two different categories. They're either struggling right now to figure real estate out, like I did in my first year, or perhaps you're already doing well, but you're sacrificing your entire life. Okay, I call that the success trap. So I have a lot of agents that come to me and they're doing well financially, but they've given up their entire life and they're tired, and frankly, they just can't even keep it up, right? They can't keep that hustle up. So if someone could type in this domain, I'm going to show you the invitation for this 3-day training that I'm doing. If someone could type into the comments, coach, because I'm a real estate coach, coachproctor.com/live. In fact, it looks like that right there. Okay, coachproctor.com/live. And that is a really awesome information site where it'll talk about all the free bonuses you'll get as an early bird. I'll tell you the price right now. It's $63 a day. It's $189 for 3 days. And if you like this, like you haven't paid me any money, if you like what we talked about here today, you're going to love the training that we do over 3 days. In fact, I will guarantee this, right? I'll give you a performance guarantee. I'll practice what I preach, what I just said to do with the real estate clients. I'll do it with you right now. If you register right now for $189 for the 3 days, after day one, after the first day, if you aren't completely blown away, you let me know, send an email by the end of the first day, and I'll just refund all of your money, okay? And you'll get a great free education. So you have nothing to lose, everything to gain. That's how confident I am that you will be blown away by the information I have. And again, what makes this different is I actually got very rich selling real estate. Okay, I'm going to give you the honest numbers here. I started off as dumb as a pile of rocks, didn't know what to do my first year, made the mistake of copying all the other real estate agents, and then I figured out marketing. See, here's the key. What I believed is probably what you believed. If I'm a really good agent, and I know all the rules, and I know how to fill out all the paperwork, and I really care about my clients, I'll be successful. And I did all that. I was a good agent, but I was failing because the part of getting the clients, what they told me wasn't true. Door knocking, cold calling, sitting in open houses, that was not a pathway to freedom. Everything changed for me when I figured out marketing. And I'm not talking about the type of marketing that most agents use, image advertising, glamour shot, talking about how great they are and I'm number one. I'm not talking about that kind of marketing. I'm talking about direct response marketing. Once I figured that out, and by the way, how I figured that out is, do you know that there's industries outside of real estate that sell gazillions of dollars worth of products and services, no cold calling exists, right? They sell all these products and services by getting buyers and sellers to contact them. That's what happened to me in year 3. Think about this. I was still in my 20s. I was less than 36 months into the business. I was making millions of dollars a year, and I was named the top RE/MAX agent in the world. That was in year 3. Guess what happened in year 4? It got better. In year 5, it got better. Every single year, it got better. So I'm selling 300 homes a year, 400 homes a year, 500 homes a year, 600 homes a year. And let me tell you what I was able to do. I was able to make enough money and get my business on autopilot, which is another thing that I'm going to teach you during these 3 days. Is once we show you how to ramp up the marketing, the next thing is you want to slowly try to remove yourself, like you want to have an exit strategy. That's what I was able to do. I was able to buy a second house in Florida on an island, and I was able to move there with my family. My kids were going to school in Florida, even though I'm from Canada. I still have my house in Canada, which I'm at that house. I'm at the Canadian house right now. But isn't this what we want? Isn't, like, the reason you got into real estate is you wanted real estate to provide you freedom, right? So everything I have is because of real estate. And that's why I want to give back and show you exactly how I did it. Just like I've been able to show thousands and thousands of other agents how to have more money and more time and more freedom in their lives. So I want to thank you very much for watching this. Again, come and spend 3 days with me. At a minimum, turn on notifications to these videos. Let me know where you're from as well. If you want to type that into comments, sometimes we can get you some referrals. Remember, I've got over 30,000 agents in my network. So just type in like the major city that you're in, not the small town, but the major city that you're in. And we'll see if we can get you some referrals in our network, because the agents that work in my network always prefer to refer buyers and sellers to agents that, get it. So do that. And we'll wrap it up here for today, but I'll give you that domain name, just in case someone hasn't typed it in. It's coachproctor.com/live. And let me know what you think of this. If you like this, give me the thumbs up, hit the heart, show me some love. And thank you so much for watching this. You guys have a great day, and we'll come at you again soon with some more great content. Take care. That's all for now.